before I was teaching at Commonwealth, I was teaching at the college level, and in many ways teaching here is very similar because the quality of the work that the kids do and what we can ask the kids to do is very similar. But unfortunately, when I was teaching at college, it was all very much based on a sort of lecture format where somebody would impart information, then we would have a discussion section where the leader would ask a couple of leading questions, and mostly people had to draw on what they had read in the textbook or what they had heard in the lecture in order to answer the questions. But I think here at Commonwealth, because we're so interested in texts and we're sort of interested in the idea of how we know what we know about the past, a lot of our conversations comes out of what we glean from looking at a whole bunch of texts very closely and looking at them together.
I think that at Commonwealth, they're less interested in teaching you the facts of history than they are in teaching you how to be a historian, you know, the methods that a historian would use to really learn about a subject or an idea or a time period. They teach you really analytical methods of looking at things. They teach you to look at primary sources rather than just a secondary textbook. They teach you how to annotate well. They teach you how to use your citations. A lot of this is in our research papers that we do one every year, freshman, sophomore, and junior year, where we pick a topic on basically anything we're doing in that history class, and we develop it, we pick a thesis and everything. It ends up being about 15 pages. Also, the library isn't the only source we have to get books. We are members of the Boston Public Library from our freshman year on, and we really learned to take good advantage of it because it's very close. You know, we get like 6 or 7 books from there every year at least for our research papers, and it becomes our second library almost. It's so close and so useful for us.
We do, of course, have a textbook, and we do, of course, have lecture because we are really interested in looking at texts in their context. But there is this idea that the students, like the historians who wrote the textbook, are learning from the past from the people who lived in the past. And we try to include a variety of voices so that we're including you know, both women and men, so we include immigrants and people who are born here, so we include people who are across the spectrum politically, across the spectrum religiously, and across the spectrum racially. But it is really, I think, driven by each class develops its own sort of sense of our, we develop a vocabulary together about how we're going to look at these texts.